Hello friends, welcome to the world of project management and for an overview session on project stakeholder management process, that is planned stakeholder engagement. Motto of this training is to share my experience in preparing for PMP certification and have prepared few slides. Let's quickly move to our agenda for this session that we are going to discuss on what is planned stakeholder engagement and its ITTOs, that is inputs, tools and techniques and outputs in more detail. Let's start. It is the second process in the project stakeholder management, and it is defined as the planned stakeholder engagement is the process of developing the approaches to involve the project stakeholders based on their needs, expectations, interest, and potential impact on the project. Hope you understood the definition. And the key benefit of this process is that it provides an actionable plan to interact effectively with the stakeholders. And this process is performed periodically throughout the project as needed. Okay, hope you understood the definition and the key benefit of this process. Let's refer to the diagrammatic representation, how the stakeholders are linked with the project and relates with their interest, needs and impact. Okay, hope you understood now the planned stakeholder engagement definition, the key benefit and how it relates. Let's move to the ITTOs. In inputs, we have the project charter, project management plan, which contains the resource management plan, communication management plan, and the risk management plan. And also in inputs, we have the project documents, which contains the assumption log, change log, issue log, project schedule, risk registered, and stakeholder register. And inputs also we have the agreements, EEFs, and OPS, that is the enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. And coming to the tools and techniques, we have the expert judgment, data gathering technique, which contains the benchmarking, and we have the data analysis technique, which contains assumption and constant analysis and root cause analysis. And also we have the decision making techniques, which includes the prioritization or ranking. And we have the data representation technique also, which contains the mind mapping, stakeholder engagement assessment matrix, and we have the meetings. And coming to the outputs, we have only one output for this plan stakeholder engagement, that is stakeholder engagement plan. Okay, fine. Now let's discuss first with the inputs in more detail. In inputs, first we have the project charter. As I said, the project charter contains information on the project purpose, objectives, and success criteria that can taken into the consideration when planning how to engage the stakeholders. This is about the project charter. Coming to the next input, we have the project management plan, which contains the resource management plan, communication management plan, and the risk management plan. Let me explain one by one. First, with the resource management plan. This input, the resource management plan, may contain the information regarding the roles and responsibilities of the team and other stakeholders also that were listed in the stakeholders register. Coming to the communication management plan. In this, the communication strategies for the stakeholder management and their implementation plans are both inputs to and recipients of the information from the processes in the project stakeholder management. Coming to the risk management plan. This risk management plan may contain the risk thresholds or the risk attitudes that can assist in the selection of the optimal stakeholder engagement strategies. Okay, hope you understood about this input project management plan. Let's move to the next input, project documents, which contains the assumption log, change log, issue log, project schedule, risk registered, and stakeholder registered. Let me explain one by one. First, with assumption log. This input, the assumption log, contains the information about the assumptions and constraints that may be linked to specific stakeholders. Coming to the change log. This change log contains the changes to the original scope of the project. Okay, moving to issue log. In this, managing and resolving the issues contained in the issue log will require some additional communications with all the stakeholders affected. This is about the issue log. Coming to the project schedule. The schedule contains the activities that may be linked to specific stakeholders as owners or executors are updated in this project schedule. Coming to risk register. This risk register input contains the identified risk of the project and usually links them to the specific stakeholders as either risk owners or as subjects to the risk impacts. Coming to the stakeholder register. This stakeholder register provides the list of project stakeholders, including some additional classification data and with some other information. Okay, hope you understood about this input project documents. Let's move to the next input. We have agreements. When planning for any engagement of the contractors and suppliers, the coordination usually involves working with the procurement or contracting group in the organization that's made to ensure the contractors and the suppliers are effectively managed. So this has to be done by using these agreements. Okay, hope you understood about this input. Let's move to the next input. We have enterprise environmental factors, that is EEFs. In this, EEFs may include organizational culture, political climate and governance or framework, or it may include the personal administration policies, it may include the stakeholder risk appetites, and it may include the established communication channels, or it may include the global region or local trends, practices or habits, and it may include the geographic distribution of facilities and resources. Okay, hope you understood about this input. Let's move to the next input. We have OPS, organizational process assets. Organizational process assets may include the corporate policies and procedures for social media ethics and security, and also it may include for issue risk change and data management, and it may include some organizational communication requirements, and it may include some standardized guidelines for development, exchange, storage, and retrieval of information, or it may include some lessons learned repository with information about the preferences, actions, and involvement of the stakeholders. And it may include the last some software tools which need to be support effective the stakeholder management or engagement. Okay, hope you understood what all includes in the organizational process assets. So here we have completed all the inputs of the planned stakeholder engagement. So let's move to the tools and techniques. First, in the tools and technique, we have the expert judgment. As I said, expertise should be considered from the individuals or groups with some specialized knowledge or trainings in some of the areas, such as they should be expertised in the politics and power structures in the organization and outside the organization, or they might be expertised in the environment and culture of the organization and outside of the organization, and they might expertise in analytical and assessment techniques that will be used for stakeholder engagement processes. So in all these areas, the expertise should have some knowledge on that. Okay, hope you understood about this first technique, expert judgment. Let's move to the next technique. We have data gathering technique, which contains the benchmarking technique. In this benchmarking, the results of stakeholder analysis are compared with the information from the other organizations or other projects that are considered to the world class. I mean, it compares with some standards, that is benchmarking. Okay, hope you understood about this data gathering technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have data analysis technique, which contains the assumption and constraint analysis and root cause analysis. Let me explain one by one. First, with assumption and constraint analysis. In this, the analysis of current assumptions and constraints may be conducted in order to tailor the appropriate engagement strategies. Okay, hope you understood this. Moving to the root cause analysis. This root cause analysis, RCA, identifies underlying the reasons for the level of support of project stakeholders in order to select the appropriate strategy to improve their level of engagement. Okay, hope you understood about this data analysis technique. Let's move to the next technique, decision making techniques. That includes the prioritization or ranking. In this prioritization or ranking, The stakeholder requirements need to be prioritized and ranked, as do the stakeholders themselves. And also, the stakeholders with the most interest and the highest influence are often prioritized at the top of the list. Okay, hope you understood about this decision making technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have data representation technique that includes the mind mapping and the stakeholder engagement assessment matrix. Let me explain one by one. First, with mind mapping. What is mind mapping? The mind mapping is used to visually organize the information about the stakeholders and their relationships to each other and the organization. And coming to the stakeholder engagement assessment matrix. This matrix supports a comparison between the current engagement levels of the stakeholders and the desired engagement levels required for successful project delivery. And the engagement level of the stakeholders can be classified as unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, and leading. Let me explain all these five levels. First, with unaware. Unaware of the project and potential impact. Moving to resistant. It contains the awareness of the project and potential impact, but resistant to any changes that may occur as a result of the work or outcome of the project. That is, these stakeholders will be unsupportive of the work or outcomes of the project. Okay, hope you understood about this resistant. Moving to neutral. In this, the aware of the project, they were aware of the project, but neither supportive nor unsupportive. Okay, moving to supportive. In this level, the stakeholders aware of the project and potential impacts and supportive of the work and its outcomes. It is more supportive in this level. Moving to leading. In this level, the stakeholders aware of the project and potential impacts and actively engaged in ensuring that the project gets a success. Okay. Hope you understood all these engagement levels of the stakeholders. Okay, fine. So let's move to the next technique. We have meetings. These technique meetings are mainly used to discuss and analyze the input data of the stakeholder engagement planning process and to develop a sound stakeholder engagement plan. That is a precise stakeholder engagement plan. Okay. Here we have completed all the tools and techniques also of the planned stakeholder engagement process. So let's move to the outputs. As I said, we have only one output, that is stakeholder engagement plan, which is an important one. This stakeholder engagement plan is the component of the project management plan that identifies the strategies and actions required to promote productive involvement of the stakeholders in decision making and execution. Okay, hope you understood this. It can be a formal or informal and highly detailed or broadly framed. And also, it's based on the needs of the project and expectations of the stakeholders. Okay, and also the stakeholder engagement plan may include some specific strategies or approaches for engaging with the individuals or group of stakeholders. Okay, okay, hope you understood this output of the plan stakeholder engagement also. Fine, so we have completed all the attitudes here, that is inputs, tools and techniques and outputs of the planned stakeholder engagement process. Before closing this session, let me highlight some key points for this process. That we need to define the stakeholder engagement strategies to effectively engage the stakeholders in the project. And the second point, we need to assess the stakeholder current and desired level of engagement. And we need to define the stakeholder communication requirements. And last, we need to document all these things in the stakeholder engagement plan. So these four key points need to be noted with respect to this planned stakeholder engagement process. Okay, so this completes our second process session on the project stakeholder management knowledge area, and hope this complete session is easy understandable for you. Fine, let's discuss more detail on the next process in this project stakeholder management area, that is manage stakeholder engagement, in the next video. Kindly provide your feedback on the given email ID if you like this video, and share with your friends and subscribe my channel. Bye for now. It's your Anil Kumar Dharam.